When I'm in the world, my senses are flooded with sights and sounds and smells, and it seems obvious that reality is just out there. There's a person, there's a cab. All I have to do is show up, and my senses let me experience it all. But there's a twist to this story. Let me show you something. So take a look at this middle square here. Does that look more similar to the light square or the dark? Well, it looks like a light square, yeah? You might be surprised if I move it. Now it looks like a dark square.
Oh my God, it is the same.
Oh. It's surprising, right?
It is. Ah. Oh my goodness.
Wow. You're ready.
Seriously?
Yeah. Do you have a guess as to why there's an illusion here?
Well, it seems like there's a shadow, so it makes this darker.
That's exactly right. Your brain is trying to understand the colors of things irrespective of the lighting and the shadows. So somehow it's not about what's hitting your eyes, it's about your brain's interpretation.
That's really trippy. You just mess up my whole day.
Now this is about more than just a visual illusion. It's about a fact that's central to our lives. Our perception of reality has less to do with what's happening out there and more to do with what's happening in here. If I told you that this world around us, this richly textured world, we're all just an illusion constructed in your head. What if I said that the real world has no smell or taste? No sound? What if I said there's no color? If you could perceive reality as it really is out there.
Of some scientists posing that man is an image, everything experienced is temporary and deceptive, and this universe is a shadow, seems to be proven by science in our day. Everything we see, touch, hear, and perceive is matter. The world, or the universe, is only electrical signals in our brain. The act of seeing is realized progressively. At the instance of seeing, light clusters called photons travel from the object to the eye and pass through the eye lens, where they are refracted and focus on the retina at the back of the eye. Here, rays are turned into electrical signals and then transmitted by neurons to the center of vision at the back of the brain. The act of seeing actually takes place in this center in the brain. All the images we view in our lives and all the events we experience are actually experienced in this tiny and dark place. Both the film you are now watching and the boundless landscape you see when you gaze at the horizon actually fit into this place of a few cubic centimeters. Now, let us reconsider this information more carefully. When we say we see, we actually see the effect the rays reaching our eyes form in our brain by being converted into electric signals. When we say we see, we actually observe the electrical signals in our brain. By the way, there is another point that has to be kept in mind. The brain is sealed to light, and its interior is absolutely dark. Therefore, it is never possible for the brain to contact with light itself. We can explain this interesting situation with an example. Let us suppose that in front of us there is a burning candle, and we view its light. During this period, when we view the candle's light, the inside of our skull and our brain are in absolute darkness. The light of the candle never illuminates our brain and our center of vision. However, we watch a colorful and bright world inside our dark brain. The same situation applies to all our other senses. Sound, touch, taste, and smell are all perceived in the brain as electrical signals. Therefore, our brains throughout our lives do not confront the original of the matter existing outside us, but rather an electrical copy of it formed inside our brain. It is at this point that we are misled by assuming these copies are instances of real matter outside us. These physical facts make us come to an indisputable conclusion. Everything we see, touch, hear, and perceive is matter. The world, or the universe, is only electrical signals in our brain.
This one is incredibly bloody real. And what are they doing? They are hacking in to the five senses, hacking into a system through which we create this reality. The body is what I call a biological computer, and the senses pick up vibrational information, they turn it into electrical information fed to the brain, and the brain then constructs reality based on that information. And all that virtual reality games are doing is hacking into it and feeding different information for the brain to decode into an experienced reality. Now, what if that was happening here in terms of this, which I'll get to in section 2? The reason they can connect the brain to computers and have interaction is because they're connecting two computers, one fantastically more sophisticated than the other, but the principle is the same. The five senses are just a decoding system. Taking, like I say, vibrational information. The ear is the classic example, of course, but they're all like this. It takes vibrational information, it transfers it as electrical information to the brain, and the brain then decodes the sound. As I'm speaking now, passing between me and everyone else is not words, it's a vibrational information field coming from the vocal cords. The ear picks it up, decodes it into electrical signals to the brain then hears what you're saying. We only hear people when we've decoded what they hear, what we're hearing, and that's why you can hear somebody and hear completely different words and meanings and expressions to what were given, because your decoding system has intervened in that process, maybe because you don't like the person or whatever. The tongue is the same. You take electrical information, you turn it into electrical information to the brain, and then you taste. Oh, that's nice, when this decides that. Same with smell, the same system. Same with touch. You know, some pain relief situations now in hospitals, they stop the message going from the point of the pain to the brain, and if the brain doesn't get that message, it doesn't feel pain. So, I've said many times that this is the stadium on which the human race is controlled. Because if you can control the way this decodes reality from the information it's receiving, then you control that person's perception of self and reality. That's the foundation of it all. Everything else, like I say, is detail. So, in this scene from The Matrix, when Neo said, this isn't real. And Morpheus said, what is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, taste, and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. Exactly. And what if there were people that understood that and understood how to manipulate the way people's brains interpret that information, what power they would have? That is what is happening. So we have these virtual
exist without the mind that's defining it. Without mind, reality exists only as infinite potential. Quantum physicists have now stumbled upon what mystics have been saying for over 2,000 years, that reality is a projection of the mind.
Not that which the eye can see, but that whereby the eye can see. Know that to be Brahman, the eternal, and not what people here adore. Not that which the ear can hear, but that whereby the ear can hear. Know that to be Brahman, the eternal, and not what people here adore. Not that which speech can illuminate, but that by which speech can be illuminated. Know that to be Brahman, the eternal, and not what people here adore. Not that which the mind can think, but that whereby the mind can think. Know that to be Brahman, the eternal, and not what people here adore.
这时，四中的旗帆在空中飘扬着。
那是风在动。
不，明明是旗在动，
是风在动，
是旗动，
是风动。
不是风动，也不是旗动，而是你们的心在动。